Hello and welcome everyone to the second round of League of Europe Division 4. It's going to be me, QVR Packer, taking you through this one, and it's going to be alongside me, Excel Gary. How's it going, Gary?
Well, it's a pleasure once again to be joined in the con boot, well, virtually in the con boot with you around Silverstone in Division 4. Really looking forward to it. Quite a similar track to Austria, so yeah, it'd be interesting how to get on once again. Hopefully there's a bit more, or same entertainment as we had last week.
Yeah, coming off the back of round number 1, the season opener at Spielberg, the Red Bull Ring. The championship looks like this right now. It's going to be Sam T leading the way. He is a reserve, though, so he's not signed to a team at the moment. Ryan B in the Alfa Romeo taking home second place with Goldie, dropping down from the race win, I believe he had on track, down to P number 3. TGG Storm in 4th, Heated in 5th place. Forza Brendan, Frosty Calvin, the Alpha Tauri duo, finishing at 6th and 7th. ISRL Jordan in the Alfa Romeo, and Excel Cali in Camel picked up P9 and P10. United Bosnia in the Red Bull P11, and Harry Noir picking up the last points position. Going over to the team standings right now, it's Williams in the lead with their driver picking up 25 points, I believe P3. And looking for the other one, well, they scored 10 points, yeah, so P3 and P5 for the Williams drivers. And then Alfa Romeo on 23 in second, Alpha Tauri in P3, Mercedes P4, Racing Point P5, Ferrari, Red Bull, and McLaren 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then Renault and Haas yet to score points. So yeah, looking pretty interesting for this championship position. It seems that Pens might be a key factor in the championship and eventually into this race.
Yeah, and as you went through like Austria a bit last week, I guess Pens may, like they did last week, cause a bit of an issue for drivers, as Goldie, of course, lost the win last week because of his penalty. So I'll be interested. Silverstone, not really known for causing too many penalties. I think the only real place you can cut or invalidate is Sector 2. So people will probably be a little bit extra cautious through there, but be interesting to see. Like last week, the rain or the weather can play a factor, so it'll be interesting to see if we have rain in Silverstone. It usually rains, so I am expecting at least a bit of rain this race.
Yeah, England known for their infamous wet weather, as well as most countries in Europe. But yeah, going over to the League of Europe Twitter and towards Killer Instincts. We're going to mention on the stream. The one for Division 4 named by Killer is Goldie, who started on pole position. The only driver to set a lap time on the soft compound, and then obviously, as we mentioned many times already, lost the win on penalties. So let's see what he can do. I think you mentioned before as well on stream that Silverstone is quite a similar track to the Red Bull Ring, heavy on straights and not many corners. And if there are corners, they're going to be very, very high in top speed. So let's see what these drivers have to deal with in terms of conditions. And it's full, it's wet. Once again, 2 out of 2 for Division 4.
You got a feel for them. I think we're going to have to stop mentioning rain when we doing the build up to qualify, because last week, of course, we mentioned some rain. Now this week it's raining again. So it'll be interesting to see now if it's a full wet race, or I think it might be intermediate at least anyway for qualifying. So it'll be interesting to see if this stays. Oh no, they're all in full wet actually. Never mind.
Yeah, they are all on full wets.
So it'll be interesting to see if this rain's gonna stay for the race, or if they'll have a dry race, or will it go wet to dry or dry to wet. It's gonna be fun to watch. I'm glad I'm not racing in it. So yeah, looking forward to this qualifying session.
Yeah, it will be really interesting. Jav already coming to us in the comment section from the pit lane in the Haas garage, asking if Ghost wants his seat back. Jav, you can take this one. I know you didn't exactly get one last week, so enjoy it. Yeah, enjoy it. But I think we're gonna have to start mentioning weather in Killer Instinct so it doesn't, happen. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, that Killer Instincts, as we've seen last week, is quite a bit of a curse. So
yeah,
if he can just say it's going to rain every week, the opposite is bound to happen. So yeah, might have to get him to do that next week.
Yeah, exactly. I believe we are going to have Brandon in the Renault. I think he was out first. He was first out last time, so contender for first out, if you can count that as a championship. He is winning it. I believe he's on 50 points right now. So
I believe you're winning it in D2 as well.
Yeah.
I've seen your video.
Yes, most definitely. Surprised you watched it though. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, tricky circuit this, especially through the middle sector. First sector can be very, very difficult as well. But this circuit gets even more difficult in the wet conditions. It's pretty slippery on traction out in the dry. I wonder what these drivers are gonna have to do in these very heavy wet conditions, as you can see by the blue wall tires on the Renault right now.
Yeah, normally in the dry at least you'd use quite low downforce, try and get as much as you see Brandon already struggling as he goes down the lap. So I'd expect him to maybe put on a few ounces of downforce for qualifying at least, maybe on the front wing, because of course you can change it. So be interested to see how Brandon does on his first lap in these conditions.
Yeah, coming across the start-finish line, you're going to go into turn 1, Abby, in the dry condition. It's flat out, but Brandon's going to be opting to take 1 gear less through turn 2, which is far, braking just around 75 meters in between the yellow and the red braking markers. It's going to be turn 3, I think that's Village, and then coming through turn 4, a little bit of a slide in between the right and the left transition into the loop, I think it is called, and through turn 5, which is Aintree. Now, down the first of many straights, the first of 2 DRS zones on the circuit right now, braking once again at 75 meters into Brooklyn. The difficult corner of this, you want to take a really late apex if you can, and then through Luffield, you can take many different lines through this corner. It's a hairpin, and you want to get the best exit possible onto the National Pit Straight, which I think that's what it is called. Not exactly sure which one, but through turn 8, that right kink is Woodcut. Now into turn 9, flat and dry conditions, but not flat here, obviously, in the wet conditions through turn 9, which is Cops. Now into the fast section on the track, I do believe it's going to be turn 10 Maggots, as well as turn 11, then 12 and 13, which is Beckett's, and then coming through the left kink onto the hanger straight. Ooh, big slide. That's going to ruin his lap. He's almost around, and yeah, he's into the grass. Lucky not to put into the wall. So as we already had Camel, who's retired, I'm not sure if that's in the pit lane. It might just be to the next driver, who's going to be Excel-Cali. We're going to be resuming this onboard hot lap into turn number 15, which is Stowe. One of the highest speed corners on the circuit in the first corner of the third sector. He's going to have to look out for a few drivers in behind, just maybe braking just about 100 meters for the Vale chicane into 16 through 17. Want to try to get the best exit possible onto the pit straight through the right kink of turn 18. You don't want to get on that inside curve, but completely spin out. It's going to be a 40.8 for Excel-Cali. Looked a little cautious, but yeah, Sam T, the winner last week, is already on the provisional pole position as Harry Noir, his McLaren teammate, replaces him on a 39.3.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the times tumble as the session goes on, as we see Goldie absolutely smashes the whole time at the moment with 38.6, the first driver in 38. But yeah, I expect the times to tumble very quickly as the drivers get more comfortable with the conditions after a few more laps. So yeah, first couple of laps aren't very representative of people's times, as we have a Major Falcon getting all out of shape. Into turn 2 as he slides across the track and nearly hits one of the Alfa Romeos, I believe. So yeah, people struggling at the moment. Only a handful of drivers after getting a lap on the board, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on with the rest of the session.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to set a lap here. Pretty easy to invalidate in the dry conditions with the high-speed nature of the circuit, but it's going to be even easier to invalidate in the wet conditions. Either making a mistake, just having the littlest of slides can put you over that white line on the exit of many corners, or even on the inside of corners. I think we've had the Renault of Brandon spinning once again, as I just saw Ryan B. Actually, no, that was his Renault teammate in Marty, who's had a spin out of Chapel. Very easy place to do that on your lap. But yeah, I think Ryan B's in the wall. He's out.
Oh, Ryan B, who finished top 5, I believe, in Austria last week, and has already managed to get himself up to P2 out of qualifying. That's going to hurt him a lot, because he's P2 at the moment. I don't expect him to stay there, as I expect the times, like I said, to come down really quickly as people get more comfortable with the track. So that's really going to hamper his chances in the race. As Excel-Cali comes across line and improves on his time and moves up to P5. But yeah, at the moment, I bet to say that Harry goes second with 38.8. I was going to say Goldie's in the field of his own at the moment, but Harry shuts me up and goes within 2/10 of Goldie at the moment. So yeah, quite close at the moment. So as I'm pretty sure people are fueled up for a good few runs of laps. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if the weather clears up. Maybe go indoors at the end. We had something similar happen in Austria last week. So yeah, as Frosty Calvin just about goes a bit slower than Goldie, goes up to P2, so the time's really tumbling down here.
Yeah, only 100.5 between the two guys on the front row right now. They were big contenders as well, especially Frosty Calvin, who I think was almost on pole position last time out in Austria. Looked really good, really comfortable in those wet conditions, but eventually got beat out by Goldie because of the track drying out. But as the longer this qualifying session goes on, I think we're going to find a drier line for most of these drivers. Forza Brendan goes on to pole position just by 400, so it's really close for P1 out there on track. Going to the next driver, which I think is going to be back. No, it's the Racing Point of Excel Cali, going to be doing his third lap right now. Third lap, he's up by 4.5 tenths, crossing the middle sector split. He only has about 4 corners left to do on this circuit. Let's see what he can do through these final 4 corners, going through Stowe right now, which I believe is turn 15. Out on track right now, braking once again at the 100-meter board into the Vale chicane. Let's see what type of exit he can do. Let's see if it's better than his first and second lap. Let's see if he can improve on that P8. Right now it's a 39.4, but now it's going to be 39 flat. He does loses just a little bit of time, but he goes up to P6 anyways with a 7,000th time loss. So he should have a little bit more time as the track starts to dry out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to start to pit now. Ooh,
that's a huge crash. He was in the air.
Where's he lost? He lost out of turn 1? Or turn 2?
Somewhere there. He must have had a huge slide through Abbey and ended up losing it on the wall on the outside of turn 2. So yeah, we've already seen 2 huge crashes from possible contenders here from Ryan B and Brandon.
Yeah, I see it goes, Paul. I was on board with that lap. He was a really good lap with him, and he takes the ball by 5 tenths of a second off Forza Brendan in P2 in the AlphaTauri. But yeah, as you said, we had 2 big DNFs already in qualifying. It's not the easiest track in the wet. I doubt. Well, maybe given how prominent wet is here, rain is here, maybe they have done a few laps. But if it's dry in the race, they're going to be using dry setups. So this might be a reason why so many people are struggling on track at the moment, and why people at the top are going so quick. Maybe they've compromised their setup more. Only time will tell, I guess, when we get into the race.
Yeah, Excel Cali might be one of those drivers who has compromised his setup. He went purple in the middle sector, up by another 4/10, so finding even more time on the lap right now. He's not going to be coming into the pit lane. I don't think he's come off the circuit since he stepped onto it to set his first lap time, but coming through the final chicane of Vale. The final chicane, Vale, 16, 17, and through 18 for the Racing Point. He crosses the line once again. He goes on the front row, still 4/10 off of pole position, but it's a front row. The Racing Points, Williams, and the AlphaTauri all looking like serious contenders so far in this qualifying session.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable in the wet at the moment. He's 4/10 clear of the nearest driver, so he must have absolutely nailed it. And I see Goldie's put on a set of inters in the pits. He set up a set of inters, so I might see him go out on a set of inters. Of course, last week in Austria, he was the only driver to risk it on a set of dry tyres, and it got him pole. Maybe he can do something again like that here in Silverstone this week. So as we have Jav as well, I expect a few go onto inters. As you can clearly see, there is a line forming, at least a racing line, which is definitely going to help the driver. I think inters right now is the best tyre to go onto.
Yeah, most definitely. It does look like it's still raining, so the drivers are obviously comfortable with either the delta improving from between the intermediates and the wet tires, but it is still raining out there on track as Bagabone shows us having a huge slide trying to start his lap in the Racing Point right there. It does look like it's starting to let up, but it is definitely still coming down. These weather conditions can be absolutely harsh. You see United Bosnia having a big slide there out of Chapel, trying to go onto the Hangar straight. It's going to be a long run. He's going to lose so much time all the way down the straight just because of that slide. There's a McLaren behind him. That might be Sam T in the McLaren, but he's invalidated. So going back to United Bosnia, a little bit off of the dry line. That's not where you want to put your car in these very difficult conditions. Braking into the Vale chicane, going very, very deep. He's not had the cleanest of third sectors so far in the Red Bull, but now coming through turn number 18, the final corner. Oh, he has a big slide. He got on that exit curb and almost puts it on the wall. It's a 40.4. Yeah, that's not the greatest lap there from the Red Bull driver, but it is a time, and he will be starting P16 as it stands right now. Going to the next driver, which is going to be Harry Noir. He's an outlap. So drivers, after finishing their first runs, are starting to come out on track once again, and there's only 6 minutes and 40 seconds, so they're going to be allowed to do less laps than before, as ISRL Jordan is coming across the line right now to start a new lap.
Yep, and we've got a few drivers on inters at the moment. these guys are risking it, and I was on board with Goldie on his outlap. It doesn't look too bad, to be fair, so be interesting to see how he goes on. His Bag of Bones is coming into the last sector now, through Stowe. Has someone retired?
Yeah, that's Jordan. He's out at turn 2 once again, right on the outside of turn 3. Stormer's tired with him as well. He's done the same exact thing as Brendan did. 2 drivers out at the same place. I'm surprised it's not a red flag. Wish it was in the game. Codemasters, cough, cough. But yeah, 4 drivers out in the first sector. That's absolutely devastating for those guys. They would wanted to be improving. Storm and Ryan B, the only 2 inside the top 10 right now. It's going to be free tire choice. Heron Org having a big slide through cops as well. Super difficult to keep the car on track. He's starting to weave, trying to get temperature into his tires, maybe to go again. He's still out on those wet tires, having another slide. It's really
first sector. He's marginally up on his time at the moment. Like, of course, he is on intermediate, so he is definitely one to keep an eye out on. And the people that have retired, they will be begging and hoping that the track doesn't dry out enough for inters. Because if everyone goes on to inters, they're going to be right at the back, as they have set their times on wet and cannot improve, of course, because they are out of the session. But on board with Goldie at the moment, car looks really stable through Magnussen and Beckett. Inters definitely seem like a decent tyre at the moment. Seems to have plenty of grip as he goes. He's 4 tenths up, so Goldie is on a good lap here. As I expect him to gain more time through Stowe and the Vale chicane. Here he goes now into Stowe, very tricky in the draw. You don't want to go too wide or you will invalidate. He's very cautious, you have to say. Driver just wants to get a lap on the board, get a bit of a feel of the inters as he goes into the Vale chicane. Again, very cautious. Again, like, of course, he's only first lap on the inters. He doesn't want to be pushing too much. He just wants to get a lap on the board. Comes across turn 18. What's going to be last pole by 2 tenths, sorry. 3 tenths. 2 tenths. Yeah. It's 2 tenths, and it's a Williams 1-2 at the moment, and I expect the times to get quicker as more drivers start to go out on intermediates.
Yeah, most definitely. That's not what the drivers in Ryan B, Storm, Jordan, Brandon, and Camel would not have wanted to see. The intermediates, almost every driver except for Kieran in the pit lane, and as well as Spectron, Donnie just pulled in the pit lane in his Red Bull, are all out on the intermediate tires right now. The 2 Williams boys are the only ones on laps, I think. That's what's showing on my screen right now. So let's go on board with Goldie, who's I think is turning the ERS down. Yeah, he's going to be.
Goldie's on a cooldown lap.
Yeah, he would be on a cooldown lap. Obviously getting a little bit of temperature into those tires, trying to put out a feeler right now, so it's going to be his teammate, Heated. He's going to be the next one challenging for pole position. He's half a second up in just the first sector. That's going to be a crazy improvement if he can keep the time or gain even more. I couldn't even imagine how much he would go on pole position right now if he were to finish this lap off and can gain even more time throughout the back half of this lap. Through the cops right now, coming through turn 9. Looks pretty tight. He's all the way on the edge of grip, it looks like, in the Williams, coming through now towards Maggots and Beckett's coming through. Pull on my track map. 12 and 13. Yeah, coming up. And now through Chapel, it's very easy to spin there, but he looks to be a master of the wet. He's found 1.2 seconds in just the middle sector. This is going to be a crazy improvement as Goldie comes in the pit lane, maybe to set another, put on another set of intermediates, but Heated, I don't think he's going to be in a class of his own right now. Maybe putting on a full wet setup just for the qualifying session. We have yet to know what the race conditions are going to be, but coming through right now, 16, 17, and through the final corner of 18, what is it going to be for the Williams driver? It's pole position, no doubt, but it's a 35.8 from Heated. That's a crazy improvement from him. Looking to the drivers in behind, I think it's Bag of Bones who's on an outlap, but going to the next driver, everyone's on outlaps, as it looks like right now, except for a few drivers just looking for them right now. I think the closest one to finishing a lap is going to be maybe Excel Cali. Unless Heated's going for another one. He's going for another one, but he's invalidated through Aintree. That's not going to be good for him. He can go down for a cooldown lap now and try and finish his session off even stronger than it is right now. So going on board.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm surprised Goldie pitted. I'm not too sure. He's not gonna. If he's leaving it very late. If he wants to go out again for another lap, but maybe he didn't have the car fueled up for it. Very strange for him to pit after only one lap on a set of intermediates, as Excel Cali's 1.6 seconds up on his time through the middle sector split. As Marty's been disqualified for facing the wrong way, that's going to hurt his chances, as he'll be right at the back of the grid now. Doesn't matter where he finishes, as Excel Cali now comes through the Vale chicane. What can he do? As Goldie, I don't think Goldie's going to have enough time. I think Goldie isn't going to cross the line in time. I might be wrong, but he's one to keep an eye on as Cali comes across the final corner. He goes second, 36-1. Still, no one can touch Heated at the moment. But it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if Goldie's going to have enough time to complete a lap here.
If he does, it's only going to be one lap as Major Falcon. He's taking advantage of the track improving right now. He goes on to pole position by 4/10. That's an even crazier improvement than what Heated did earlier, just a little bit earlier on in the session, but he does have more time to improve. Cali's Racing Point teammate Bag of Bones. I'm not exactly sure if he's up or not, but he's going to be crossing the line and maybe going for another lap. He's P6 right now. Where is this going to put him? He goes into second in the front row, just barely beating out Brennan, who improved just a little bit earlier on, who's in the first sector going for another lap right now. Frosty Calvin, the next one to cross the line. He put himself out there last week out in Austria as a wet conditions driver. He goes on the front row as well. Another temp improvement in front of Vagabond. Now it's a McLaren duo of Harry Noirg and Sam T. I think Harry Noirg just crossed the line. He only improved by 4/10, but Sam T set a purple final sector but didn't improve. He's going to be going for another lap as well right now. Matt Kieran is going to be the next one across the line. He's up by 2.5 seconds, but is this going to be enough? He puts him into P7, improving by 6.5 seconds or 3.5 seconds there for the Mercedes.
Sorry, Goldie just crossed the line with a second to go. He's very lucky. Sorry for cutting in. But yeah, Goldie's giving him a chance to get pole here as he crossed the line with just 1 second remaining.
But now the next driver to cross the line, it's going to be Excel Cali. United Bosnia put himself in second place. Cali's not going to be able to replicate that. He doesn't improve. He was down by 2/10 crossing the line. The next driver to cross, I think, is the man on provisional pole position. He doesn't improve, but he was invalid anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. Spectron down, the next one to cross the line. He has a little bit of slide touching that inside curb at 18. You don't want to be doing that. He puts himself into P9 from no lap time, so pretty decent there for the Red Bull driver. Next driver, cross the line. Brendan is going to be crossing the line. He goes on the pole position by 4/10 to the next competitor. That's great for him. Bag of Bones now coming through turn 18 as well. Let's see what he can do. He's going to be putting himself on provisional pole position by 0.3 of a second. His drivers are improving absolutely rapidly. Ram goes into P7 now. The next driver to cross the line, it's going to be the second AlphaTauri, Frosty Calvin. Let's see what he can do. He's only up by 0.01 of a second across the middle sector split. Across the line now, he improves by 0.3 and finds himself in third place. Now, Harry Noirg across the line. He's going to be the final of 2 drivers, I think. Across the line goes P4. Sam T, his teammate, the winner last time out, goes and finds himself on provisional pole position. Let's see what the rest of the drivers can do. I think it's going to be Kieran and then Kieran and then Goldie and then Jav to cross the line. Kieran in the Merc. He improves by 1/10, but not enough to find himself inside the top 10. Goldie across the line. He improves by 1.9 seconds, but it wasn't enough. He's only barely inside the top 10. But now we look to Jav, who's P14, coming through Mackett and Beckett, but I think he's on an in lap as he's going wide through Chapel and completely cutting the corner. But yeah, that's the qualifying session over. Sam T improving on his qualifying session from last time out in Austria, finding himself on pole position. Let's see if he can replicate his performance in Austria.
Yeah, he did very well, like you said, in Austria last week, and he's after taking pole. He's got the best seat in the house for turn 1 as he takes pole from Bag of Bones by 0.2 over second. Very close throughout the field. Goldie, I think, is going to be very disappointed with his lap. Could only manage P10. I think might have been just a bit on the cautious side at the end. Didn't want to invalidate. Of course, he was under pressure there. He just wanted to get a lap in realistically at the end. And yeah, a lot of DNFs in quali. We had 6 DNFs, which is not something you see every day in qualifying. So yeah, hopefully for those guys that don't DNF in quali or in the race, sorry, and maybe it's going to have rain again, and that's going to even spice it up even further.
Yeah, most definitely. But heading out of the qualifying session right now, it's a British 1-2 for the British Grand Prix. Sam T and Bag of Bones, the McLaren and the Racing Point, sharing that front row, split by 2.5 But it's going to be the AlphaTauris, who look immense in this qualifying session as well. Third and fourth, sharing that second row. And it's going to be Harry Noirg and Major Falcon P5, P6, United Bosnia in P7, and then the 2 Williams, who looked immensely strong last time out, are only P8 and P10, struggling in the wet conditions here in Silverstone. And then it's going to be Ramp splitting those 2 guys for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Excel Cali, Kieran, and Spectron Don 11th, 12th, and 13th. And then Jav, the last one of the drivers to set a time on the intermediates. And then it's Ryan B, Storm, Jordan, Brandon, and Camel, I believe, all ended up DNFing and were not able to step onto the intermediate tires and improve their lap time.
Now the question is going to become: is it going to be wet or is it going to be dry? It's dry. We've got a dry start at least. So now we're going to see, have people compromised too much? Sam T, you put it on pole. Has he gone for a full wet setup and this is going to compromise his chances in the race? Is this why Goldie's only P10? Because he's gone for a bit more of a dry setup to help him more in the race. These are the questions we have. And also, like last week, what tyres are everyone going to go onto? Ulstrap, not that powerful here in Silverstone, as the trains are quite difficult to overtake here. So an undercut and stuff like that isn't the best. So I think starting on the softs at least would be the best strategy for everyone, but we'll see. And yeah, I wonder if we're going to have rain later on in the race. A lot of questions going into this race now.
Yeah, it does look very, very cloudy out there on track in the conditions. You can't see the clouds, but there is a little bit of a blue sky in behind that. So maybe we will have a full dry race. But Ricardo, I'm sure that's how you say it. I'm not exactly sure, but hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. In the chat saying rooting for Kieran, Jav, and Jordan. Not all of them having the greatest of qualifying sessions. P12, P14, and P17 for those three guys out on track right now. But let's get those tires up on the screen for all the viewers in the chat right now. It's going to be Sauce for the front row. They're looking to have a good start and try and pull away because the two AlphaTauris who decided not to split on strategy are on the mediums right now on the second row. And as we go a little bit 2x2, it's Sauce for the front row, Median for the second row, and then once again Sauce for Harry Noir and Major Falcon on that third row, and then United Bosnia on the medium, splitting. It's going to be the highest medium runner after a while because you have Heated, Ramp, Goldie, Callie, and Kieran all in the soft tires in behind, trying to make up positions early on. Spectron, Don on the mediums as well, and then Jav, Ryan B, and Storm, the next three drivers on the softs, and then Jordan, Brandon, Camel, and Marty are all soft, medium, soft, I believe, if I started that off correctly. But yeah, let's head up back to the front of the field and we can get this race underway as we're coming through Cops right now on the formation lap.
Yeah, it could be interesting now. We've got a nice blend of tyres between the drivers. For, the two AlphaTauris, like last week, starting on the mediums, didn't really work out for Frosty Calvin at the start. He got damaged, of course, last week, but for Forza Brandon, it was quite a good strategy for him. So these two guys are going to be the lead and medium runners. They'll just be hoping to stick in the train, stay in the train, stay within the lead train, and hopefully come to end of the race when they pit for their fresh mediums and people are on older mediums, or fresh soft, sorry, and the rest of the grid are on older mediums, they can pounce and gain that position. But they've got to be very careful at the start. They don't want damage. All medium runners do not want damage, because if they get damage at the start, it's going to compromise their race hugely, because they cannot go back. They're unlikely to have another set of mediums maybe. They'll have to go hards or softs, and you don't want to go hard at lap one. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these all get on. They're going to be very cautious at the start.
Yeah, most definitely. But Sam T, your driver on pole position. He doesn't have a team yet. Someone signed this man to a team. He's performing amazingly well right now, but he's going to be on pole position with the best opportunity into turn one to get that race lead and do the double from last week. 2 wins in 2 races. Let's see if he can pull it off. But right now, Marty slotting into, or coming to his grid slot on the inside for the pit straight, but we're going to go to the broadcast camera and wait for Marty to get into his grid slot. I think he's just done that, but now as the grid starts to form up for the second race of Division 4 here for season number 5, as the lights still yet to come on. Yep, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. A short hold for the drivers out in front of them, but it looks like Sam T has had the best start possible. He's going to be keeping the lead into turn 1. He's actually had an amazing start. Back and Bones might have a little bit of competition into turn 1, but no, the two AlphaTauris might have been changing positions there on the mediums, but they've had a pretty decent start. But Harry Noir sending one up the inside. He split the AlphaTauris there out on track, looking for a few battles in behind. A lot of drivers coming side by side through turn number 4. It's very easy to keep it side by side with the drivers around you, but not many incidents yet. I think we had one driver spinning or making a mistake. That was Campbell, but Harry Noir battling for P3, trying to go around the outside of Brendan into Brooklands, but that's not going to be working, trying to get the best exit out of Luffield. I don't think he's going to be able to get that. He tried to get the switchback, but he's not going to be close enough going into Cobbs. A very difficult corner to go side by side, but using his ERS is now the McLaren driver looking to go side by side or not. He's just going to back out of that one. Brendan's going to keep the position going down towards Mackens and Beckett's, but Heated in behind. He's made up one position, I think, off the start. He's in P7 right now, just in behind Major Falcon in the Haas in front of him. of him. He's P6. We have a few drivers going side by side. I think Storm just got past Ramp there. Jab trying to make up positions. He's made an amazing move around the outside of Ramp there through Beckett. That's a great overtake there for the Haas driver. We have a few incidents too. Reynolds off, as well as I think that was Ryan B, who made a mistake in the Alfa Romeo. He doesn't have a front wing, or he's missing most of his front wing there. But Sam T has not been caught in any incidents. He's leading this race, going through turn 18 on to lap number 2.
Yeah, I think not Sam T. I think Ryan B and Marty had a bit of an incident there coming out of Magazine Beckett, and we see a good 4 or 5 cars heading into the pits with damage. That's going to compromise their race hugely. But
United Bosnia's round. He's out. He's into the wall. Lucky not to lose a wheel there, but he has lost most of his front wing. He's in the gravel trap. He's going to be losing multitudes of positions. Safety car. That's going to help the guys who are in the pits right now, because they won't be losing time, or they won't be losing much time as the 2 Ferraris are double stacking in the pit lane. That's a little bit of a sight to see.
Typical Ferrari, really, isn't it? Yeah, this throws a real spanner into the works strategy-wise now. The media runners are a bit caught in one, don't know what to do. Do they stay out or do they pit? If you pit, what do you go on to? This could be race defining right now, as United Bosnia has to do a whole lap without a front wing. I feel sorry for the guy, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see if anyone does pit. Tires might be able to make it. I'm not too sure, to be honest. The hards will definitely make it from here if they want to pit, but the hards, of course, will be a lot slower than the mediums. And the question is, can the mediums make it? Can the mediums do 23 laps of racing around this track? I don't know. I don't think these guys know, so I'll be interested to see if anyone does risk it, or they all play it safe and just extend their soft stint a little bit longer, as Sam T's the first guy to make that decision, so it's going to be up to him. And he pits.
He's in.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting decision there as Backbones decides to stay out, but Forza Brendan, who's actually on the mediums, decides to come into the pit lane. So now the 2 Alpha Towers will decide to split strategies, as well as the McLaren. So Sam T into the pit lane. It's going to be interesting to see what he goes on to. I think it's going to be hard tires, though, for the McLaren driver, unless I'm completely wrong, which I could be. But no, it's going to be the hard compound tires. The white wool on the side of those tires tells us that he's looking to go to the end of the race and not make another pit stop. So he does have, Marty, drive through for speeding onto the safety car. That's not going to be good for him. He's going to have to serve that after the safety car period. So he picked up damage, had to come into the pit lane, and then picks up a drive through. So he's going to lose even more time once the safety car period ends. But yeah, so Bag of Bones, Harry Noir, and Frosty Calvin will assume the first 3 places, with Sam T, who dropped from P1 to P6 on the hard tires, as well as Brendan Heated and Callie, all going onto the hard tires, with Jab and Jordan just in behind. And United Bosnia, Ryan B and Camel, who had decided for the hard tires as well, picking up damage on lap 1. But the rest of the drivers, Goldie, Storm, Spectron, Don, all decided to go for the mediums. But Ramp, the one outlier, he's going to be on the soft tires, looking to perhaps pull off a soft medium strategy with those fresher soft tires, and looking up to make up positions on all the drivers in front of him who are on harder compounds.
Yeah, top 5, of course, stayed out and none of them pitted. I think that's going to, given how many people have pitted and gone on to hards, that's going to put them at a big disadvantage, because when they pit, they're going to be last in the train basically now. So they're going to have a lot of overtaking to do if they want to get their net positions back. But yeah, interesting that Goldie and Storm have gone for mediums. They're going to try and risk it on the mediums. They're much quicker mediums compared to the hards. So those guys are going to be ones to watch out on the safety car restart, because they'll have their tyres nice and warm, while the hards need a few laps to get up to speed. And even when they get up to speed, they're not the quickest tyre in the world. So be interesting to see how they get on, how quickly they can get through the field, and how long they can preserve their tyres. Or are they going to pit again, or are they going to try and go to the end? We've got a lot of questions to ask ourselves, and I don't think we're going to get the answers till near the end of the race. So this is going to make it very interesting.
Yeah, most definitely. I think maybe those drivers looking for the more optimal, well, not optimal because they just made a pit stop, but yeah, medium to soft, looking to make up positions early on, and then they're going to have to be super, super aggressive if they do decide to come into the pit lane and fit those fresh, soft tires, making up. They're going to have to do a lot of overtaking, as you mentioned, if they want to keep that strategy going, as well as, well, most drivers who aren't on the hard tires are going to have to look up, try and make up a ton of positions. But right now, Sam T in the net race lead. He's going to be looking to go to the end if he does not pick up damage. He does now have 5 cars in front of him that he has to contend with until they decide to pull into the pit lane. But it's going to be a question of how long are the soft runners going to go for, and how long are the medium runners going to go for, and will Goldie and Storm decide to pull into the pit lane with Spectron down?
I don't think they're going to pit. I think they're going to try and risk it and go to the end. I don't think a 2-stop, even with a safety car, is a good strategy at this track, given how long the pit lane is. It's very long. It's net loss is just way too much to do a 2-stop, even with a safety car. So I think they're risking it and going to go to the end. And I rate it, to be fair. It's bold, but why not when you're in the midfield? You got nothing to lose. So be interesting to see. Hopefully they can keep it clean at the start and not pick up damage, because that would be a catastrophe for them if they picked up damage. So yeah, the field's bunched up. I expect the safety car to come in this lap, and be interesting to see how long, like you said, how long these the top 5 go now. I expect Frosty Calvin to go the longest out of all of them, but the other 4 guys on the softs, be interested to see how long they decide to extend this stint now, given they haven't pitted under the safety car.
Yeah, Frosty Calvin could be a real contender towards the back end of this race with just around 5 laps to go, I'd say. On those fresh soft tires, he's going to be cutting his way through the field. The alternate strategy, as you mentioned just before the race, is not as strong as it is in Austria, but is definitely a card that you can play, and Calvin decided to play that card, just not coming into the pit lane, starting on those medium tires. His teammate decided to go onto the hards, but let's see what he can do from P3 on the safety car restart on those medium tires. It's going to be Bag of Bones leading us through the final 3 corners with the safety car coming into the pit lane. He can go at any time now. Let's see what the Racing Point driver decides to do. Coming through 16, 17. I think he just might be going. Yeah, he's punched the throttle out of turn 18. He's not going to be using the overtake just yet, but Harry Noir is not going to be close enough to make a move into turn 1. Neither is Frosty Calvin. He's been caught out just a little bit. Maybe his tires not being up to temperature.
Into turn 1 on Kali. Sorry to cut across you. Ooh. Yep, Goldie makes a move going into turn 1. He's got to do bold moves like that. Jav and Ramp, I think, have just made contact. The Haas driver and the Ferrari. Jav is off into the wall, and he's out of the session. That might just be a safety car. I'm not exactly sure. No, we only have yellow flags right now, as it seems, but I don't think it's going to be a safety car for now. But TGG Storm, Excel Cali started to drop off the back of the field, the back off of Goldie after being overtaken into turn 1. But Storm trying to go down the inside, but is not going to be able to get that move done. But Excel Cali is really struggling, not getting his hard tires up at temperature, not having the grip that he would want. I think that was someone going side by side. That might have been Spectron down and Ramp, but Ramp, after making that contact, is down to P12. But Storm, blitzing past the Racing Point of Excel Cali in a straight line, going through cops, is now going to have to try and get onto the back of the train just in front of him. Yeah, a bit of a chaotic start or safety car restart at the back as Jav and Ramp making a bit of contact, and of course Jav out of the race now. But top 2 have really broken. Well, I say really broken, but they haven't really. Frosty Calvin's doing well actually to stay within the DRS of the top 2 guys. It's very important for him. He needs this clean air. He needs this train, the DRS, to carry him forward, because of course he is on the mediums. He needs to build a gap now between him and the people behind that have pitted. So these next few laps are going to be very important for him.
Yeah, most definitely. The laps that are going to be absolutely crucial are for Excel Cali. He's already dropped 2 positions just on lap 5 alone. He's down to P12. He's really struggling on these hard tires, not getting them to work. He was put under pressure by Spectron John going into the Vale chicane. Ooh, that's very close between those 2 drivers, getting very, very late on the brakes. We have a yellow flag. Oh, that's the Racing Point of Bag of Bones. He spun from the lead on those soft tires. That's not going to be great for his strategy. He's going to be dropping all the way down to P10, possibly P11. Ramp trying to pick up the slipstream. Go into Brooklyn's. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make the move. Just backs off ever so slightly, but just in behind. Spectron John finally getting past Excel Cali after being, I don't want to say held up, but finally getting past him into Brooklyn. He's not going to try and chase down who once was the race leader just in front of the Ferrari in front of him. But now Harry Noir is going to lead us away as Frosty Calvin is starting to drop back. There's just about 8.5 tenths between the McLaren and the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, Harry's really trying to pull a gap here. He's used a lot of VRS compared to Frosty Calvin, so I think Frosty Calvin's in a comfortable position right now. His tyres are going to be quicker than the softs now in a couple of laps, given just the tyre life of the tyres. So yeah, Frosty Calvin is in a good position. He's got no traffic, clean air. He can control his pace compared to guys like Sam T, Forza Brendan, they've got to go through the traffic. They've got to try and go past it as fast as possible. As Goldie is flying right now. He's caught right up to this train on those mediums. So he's one to look out for the next few laps. So I expect he not to put up much of a battle with his teammate, and then after that he can get after the rest of the guys.
Yeah, Heated only has to focus on getting his tires to the end of the race, as well as the two drivers in front of him, Sam T and Forza Brendan, in the same boat as the Williams driver just in behind them. But now, Goldie, they're going to have to also look out for Goldie, though. As you mentioned, on those medium tires, he's been absolutely flying. He's caught up to the back of those drivers, as well as Storm, who is on the back of Goldie, so he's going to be trying to follow him through. But Bag of Bones, after that spin, 1.6 seconds off the back of the hard and medium tire train. That's not going to be great for his race. He's going to have to make another pit stop and go into the mediums at the end of the race. But he's starting to pull a little bit of a gap to Ramp, trying to show his pace, trying to pull away from the drivers in behind him, trying to get into that clean air and get to the back of the guys in front of him. But Frosty Calvin is still sticking with Harry Noir. So Harry Noir, I think, might just be pulling into the pit lane this lap or in just a few laps' time.
If he's pitting this early, I'm surprised they didn't pit under the safety car then, because it's only 2 or 3 laps earlier. So I expect him to go maybe to like lap 10, maybe, given that they've stayed out on the safety car, So I think they're going to extend the softs, or they should at least. Otherwise, they should have just pitted under the safety car. But yeah, Harry's got very low ERS compared to Calvin. Calvin's got 50-60% more than him. So I don't expect this to be a battle that Harry can hold on or defend much, as his tyres start to give way a bit compared to the mediums right now.
Yeah, exactly. Frosty Calvin starting to close in. He's already within half a second. He's closed so much time just through the first half of this first sector right now. Major Falcon very close in behind as well. Kieran just a little bit of gap back to his Mercedes, having a little bit of a slide. Those soft tires are starting to struggle for him in the Mercedes car. But right now, Frosty Calvin is not used. He's not used. Oh my gosh, he's not used any ERS. It seems on the straight there going down towards Brooklands, but he has the DRS. So he doesn't have to use the DRS, but he might have to think about Major Falcon in the Haas just in behind him. Frosty Calvin with a little bit of a lockup into Luffield. He's going to have to think about the Haas driver behind him, but I don't think he's going to be going for a move here. Too risky if he wants to try and pull off this strategy, unless he wants to try and maybe undercut Harry Noir. I think you did mention that you want to extend this off after the safety car, but he might be thinking about a possible undercut here. It would be maybe the perfect time for him to try and pull that off. But Frosty Calvin getting very close in the dirty air, just cutting across Chapel. But now Major Falcon, who wasn't going to get past because he made a mistake through Mackens and Beckens, now gets past because of the AlphaTauri's mistake in front of him. But now Frosty Calvin may be trying to fight this back. He almost made contact with the back of the Haas driver. None of the top 3 are going to be pulling into the pit lane. Kieran maybe looking for a position here with the mistakes. Major Falcon trying to defend his position. Calvin trying to find any way possible to get back into that second place as Bag of Bones pulls into the pit lane after his spin. He's going to be the first runner of the on the soft compound tires to pull into the pit lane and maybe pull off an undercut. He was a few positions back, but he could be a threat for the top 4 right now. Sam T has actually gotten back into DRS with P2, 3, and 4, all fighting for that second place of the podium. But Harry Noir, even with that battling, is not pulling away.
No, I think the softs are done. They're finished right now. You can see when Frosty Calvin was behind Major Falcon in the final sector, he was literally pushing around the Vale chicane. These guys, they just have to extend the softs now, because it's the only logical thing to do right now and have fresher tyres come to the end of the race compared to everyone else, because of course they decided not to pit under the safety car, so they got to do it differently now. They can't pit normal pit window time because it just defeats the purpose of staying out long on those tyres. But yeah, Harry seems to be struggling an awful lot on these tyres compared to the other 2 guys in the top 3. As Major Falcon, maybe if he can keep it clean on it, unlike Frosty Calvin last lap, he might be able to get a move done here. Up into Stowe, down the hanger straight now, using the overtake, and Harry's just helpless. Defenseless right now as Major Falcon makes an easy move down the inside of Stowe. So Harry might have to pit this lap. Major Falcon, I thought he was going to pit that lap, but no, they all stay out once again. So yeah, I think in a lap or 2 time, I expect to see the medium runners come in, because those tyres are really struggling right now.
Yeah, as Ramp either making a mistake there or defending his position, but he's up into P10 just in front of Spectron Don. Ramp getting that move done into the Vale chicane. Spectron Don struggling a little bit on those medium tires, maybe just making a mistake. He did have the overtake button on, maybe try to fight the Ferrari back and get that P10 back, but as you mentioned, Major Falcon, he's going to be out in the lead of this race now after making the move on Harry Noir. But Frosty Calvin is quite the contender here for this podium position out on track. Look at the momentum he has on the McLaren in front of him. All three swerving, trying to break the slipstream, trying to break that DRS. But Harry Nowak is going to be defending his position into Brooklands. He has that one done so far, but now what can he do on the national pit straight down towards Cobbs? So I think he's going to be able to defend his position, but Frosty Calvin has so much more ERS. Harry Nowak has absolutely none. Major Falcon out in the lead, didn't have to use almost any overtake to get past, and he's going to be able to stretch his legs, use that ERS if he wants to pull away, but Harry Nowak is really, really struggling. I think he should come into the pit lane, maybe initiate that undercut, but look at the amount of time that Frosty Calvin is gaining through Mackets and Beckett's, even in the dirty air of the McLaren in front of him. Harry Nowak swerving to defend his position once again, down the hanger straight, down towards Stowe. He's going to be absolutely helpless for the second lap in a row. Frosty Calvin up into second place. That's a great move there from the Alpha Tauri, but no one coming into the pit lane yet.
I am surprised now, to be honest, that they haven't come in, because those tires, even with a safety car, those tires, not that the wear is going to be bad, it's just performance out of those tires. You can clearly see they are struggling right now on those soft tires, so they're not gaining anything right now by staying out. Even though they might want to try something different, they're just losing more time than they already have lost by staying out in the safety car. I think the mistake these guys made was staying out on the safety car, and now it's Sam T and McKieran. Sam T going for a move into turn 4. Not the most known overtaking position, but he makes it work, and he's got to do these positions. They aren't pitting, so he's got to make the best use and get through the field as fast as possible. As Forza Brendan tries it down the inside of turn 6. He does it. McKieran gives him a bit of a love tap, but yeah, Forza Brendan gets the move done down the inside of turn 6, and yeah, Forza Brendan got to stay with McKieran or with Sam T. Sorry, so because these two guys are a net P1 and 2 at the moment, so if he wants a chance to win this race, he's got to stick with him and make the moves that Sam T is moving or doing, and that's what he's doing. It's a bit worse on the ERS management side, but if he can stay within the DRS, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, but now it's the two McLarens. They could maybe work together. P3 and P4 right now, but his McLaren teammate has yet to pull into the pit lane. But Frosty Calvin may be looking for the second move in 2 laps around the outside of Stowe. Let's see if he can pull this one off. The outside line is the better. It can carry more momentum. He's all the way around the outside of Major Falcon, but Major Falcon, with that move done, decides to come into the pit lane to get off the soft tires, as well as Harry Nowak and all the soft runners in the top 5 positions. But now it's going to be Frosty Calvin on the medians. We expected him to do this. He made the move for P1, but now he's going to get the first place out on track anyways. But now he has to look out for Sam T. It's a big slide out of turn 1, having a huge snap of oversteer as Heated picks up the first 3-second time penalty. That's actually really surprising from my point of view. But yeah, Frosty Calvin 1.4 seconds in the lead now in front of Sam T. He has to try and pull out a gap because those 3 drivers in behind him are all in the net race lead.
Yeah, and now Sam T's found himself in a Alpha Tauri sandwich, so it'd be interesting to see if Frosty Calvin's going to do his teammate Forza Brendan a few favours and hold up Sam T here. Could work quite well for these two guys if they play it right, because Sam T I expect to catch up to Frosty Calvin fairly quickly. He's got a couple of lap fresher tyres, so shouldn't be an issue, but once he catches up to him, it'll be interesting to see how that goes between the two of them.
Yeah, but now going on board with who was the race leader at one point in time, just before pulling into the pit lane, Major Falcon, Harry Nowak, and Kieran, all finding themselves in a immense clean air. Look at the gap that they have to United Bosnia out in front. It's 15.5 seconds between those two drivers and the net race leader. So let's see where Frosty Calvin will come out, because he only has to pass those drivers at this point in time, and he will be on the soft tires once he decides to pull into the pit lane. But right now, those medium tires are looking really, really good for the Alpha Tauri driver. He's pulling right now. He's pulled 3/10 just in that lap alone. He's only 500ths off of his personal best. He did a 28.6, so really strong pace there for the Alpha Tauri driver. Now looking in behind, there's a lot of gaps that are very, very close, but you do expect that here around Silverstone with all the straights and with all the DRS zones. Let's see if these trains will start to close up and we can maybe have some battles out on track.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like you said, the gap between Major Falcon and United Bosnia is now 15 seconds. That is an awful lot of time to make up, even with a tyre advantage, and catching is going to be quite easy, or not easy, it's going to be easier. Overtaking is going to be the more difficult part, especially with the trains. So this just goes to show, pitting under the safety car seems to be the best call for these guys at the front, and the guys at the back now are going to ruin that not pitting, and it might cost them in the race. But still got plenty of laps, only halfway through the race, so let's see how they can do if they get the hammer down. And who knows? Maybe punches could come into play. Anything could happen, given the drivers on the medium. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, they've got a lot of ground to make up right now.
Yeah, Major Falcon, since the last time, since we went on board with him, is already closed in a second on United Bosnia, but he is in the train of Jordan, Orion B, Camel, Brandon, and United Bosnia, and himself in P13, very, very close to the back of Brandon in the Renault, just in front of him. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move, but Frosty Calvin is into the pit lane. Is he really going to do 13 laps on the soft tires? That'd be an insane amount of time. He's gonna have to. He's doing half the race on mediums, half the race on softs. That's an interesting call there from the AlphaTauri. Not exactly sure if those can get to the end and still have pace left in them, but he is pulling into the pit lane. I think he pulled out a little bit of gap, so he might be able to undercut the guys who already pulled into the pit lane.
It's a very interesting call because we've seen the guys at the front who stayed out on the softs at the safety car restart. They struggled after 10 laps, and they're on brand new set of tyres as well because, of course, we had a wet quality. So unless he's got far superior tyre wear to compare to everyone else, his tyres are going to be struggling as Goldie gets past Heated into turn 5 or turn 6, sorry, quite easy and expected. I don't think Heated was going to put up much of a battle on a slower tyre, and of course with Pens he's going to let his teammate by. And now this is the interesting part. Goldie in P3 now, and he's got two guys in front of him on the hard tyres and he's on the softs. But how much longer are those softs, or mediums, sorry, going to be quicker than those hards? He's got to make best use of those tyres ASAP.
Yeah, Goldie. If you mentioned, or if you said what he's trying to do during the safety car period, if he's trying to get to the end, he's gonna have to go into ultimate tire saving mode while the drivers around him push to the end of the race on those hard tires. But right now, he's in the same boat with Storm and Spectre and Don, who's just 4 seconds in behind the top 5 right now. TGG Storm just barely getting within DRS range there into the Vale chicane, but now going on board with Frosty Calvin. He was 1.2 seconds off the back of the Haas in front of him as Goldie sets fastest lap on the medium tires, being released by his teammate. He's on an absolute charge. He's already gotten in the DRS range of the two hard runners in front of him, but now going back on board with Frosty Calvin, he's already caught an immense amount of time. I think just 7/10. Look at the amount of timing gain just into the Vale chicane. That's absolutely ridiculous. These soft tires are going to be so much better than the drivers in front of him, but I wonder if he pit just a little bit too early. But yeah, as you mentioned, Forza Brendan trying around the outside of Sam T into Brooklands. That's not going to be a favorable move for the AlphaTauri drivers. Goldie starts to close in on these two guys out in front, but Sam T is controlling that gap right now, and he has more ERS than Brendan, which is a complete surprise to me. I would expect Brendan to have more ERS, but he's in a worse condition in terms of the battery state, as Frosty Calvin already getting past Major Falcon. It's just about a lap and a lap and a few corners, and he's already dismissed of the Haas driver who is now behind him.
Yeah, he's really got to get the hammer down now. He's 12 seconds off a point, so I think he'll make it up, considering how much quicker the softs will be compared to the hards. But overtaking and getting a top 6 maybe might even be out of reach right now, just given how much everyone's in a train. If you look 9 downwards, everyone's just in a train, so it's going to be very difficult for him to actually muster up anything higher than maybe a 10th, 9th place at the moment. But it'll be interesting to see how he gets on those softs. And yeah, things are starting to heat up at the front as Goldie is just about hanging on to these two guys in front. He's got to do everything he can to make sure he keeps in DRS, because once his tyres go, they're really going to go. And that's his only chance of staying with these guys at the moment, I think, is making sure he has DRS, which he doesn't have this lap. So he's in a bit of trouble here, as Frosty Calvin does the fastest lap. Absolutely goes 1.1 seconds quicker than the previous one set by Goldie, just a lap to go. So yeah, as you can see, he's already taken about a second and a half out of United Bosnia this lap. So stops very quick at the moment, but it'll be interesting to see, can he do 13 laps on those tyres? That's the question. I think we've got a lot of questions. How long can the tyres go? How long can Goldie's tyres go? And how long can Frosty Calvin's tyre go? So we're going to have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, most definitely. But now, going on board, there's two trains, it seems. This train for the top 5 is TG Storm actually has started to drop off the back of that, as well as Goldie. There's a little bit of a break there. I don't think he got DRS. No, he didn't, going on to the hangar straight. So he's not able to keep with. He's not able to get the DRS. Spectre and Dunn, the third and final driver on the medium tires who pitted under the safety car for that compound. He picks up a time penalty, so that's not going to be great for his race if he wants to go to the end. But right now, Heated is putting more pressure than Goldie is on the top two, so those hard tires are actually looking pretty decent as Camel side by side with Ryan B. Ryan B on the inside of Stowe. Camel trying to go around the outside. He tried to get the more momentum, but now the Ferrari driver up the inside of the Vale chicane. Ryan B trying to keep it around the outside. That seems to be a great defensive maneuver there from Ryan B. He's going to stay in P9, but he's lost a DRS to Jordan and Callie out in front of him. Jordan is putting pressure on the Racing Point as well. The Callie seem to struggle just a little bit all race long. Camel closing up to the back of Ryan B, and Brandon is not too far back as well as United Bosnia. This is just only helping Frosty Calvin, who's just a few positions back. A little bit of contact between the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo. Even more contact. Brandon now up the inside of Camel at turn 4 at the loop, trying to go up the inside of Aintree. It's difficult. It gets super tight there, exiting onto the straight. The wheel bumping between Camel and Brandon, but now Camel has the run. He's used most of his ERS, if not all contact between Brandon and Camel. Both of them around. United Bosnia will be getting 2 positions. Ryan be lucky to get out of that one with his P9 position, but now Camel and Brandon, they're definitely going to be taking that one to the steward's office, but now Frosty Calvin has 2 less places to get through.
Yeah, I think Brandon was just a bit opportunistic through there. That turn, that inside line, I've never really rated it myself. Don't like it at all, and that's the exact reason why. As Campbell and Brandon still going at it side by side through cops, Brandon has to yield and lift, and Campbell just goes clean around the outside. He says thank you very much. But yeah, these 2 guys seem to be glued to each other on track, and hopefully you can have a few more battles. Just keep it a bit more clean than it was a few moments ago.
Yeah, the inside of Brooklands is not the greatest line, but Spectron Don is the last out of the medium tires, the medium runners who pitted under the safety car. He's going to be the first one to blink. He's going to be the first one into the pit lane. I'm not exactly sure if this strategy was the one to choose, because he's going into the pit lane with 8 laps to left to go, but he's going to be going on the soft tires. He's going to be losing out so much time. He's going to be, I think, at the very best, he's going to be behind Brandon, but he's definitely, I think he's going to lose position to Harry Nowak and maybe even Kieran as well. He might even be last, well, not last, but in behind the ramp. I think he's going to. So that's not looking great. If Storm and Goldie have that full track map on his ramp, picks up a time penalty down in P17. That's not what he wanted if he has any hope to pick up points. But look at Goldie. He's really struggling. I think he's gone into ultimate tire saving mode, trying to get those tires to the end, as he does have a podium in hand right now.
Yeah, he's still got another 7 or 8 laps to go. So, like, that Spectre on Dom pitting is not a good sign for him or TGD Storm. As like you've seen them, they've dropped off massively compared to the top 2 guys. So I'm surprised Heated hasn't gone, or Goldie hasn't let Heated go by, considering the pace advantage Heated has over Goldie at the moment. And Goldie, given that Spectre on Dom pitted, I think Goldie and Storm are really going to struggle to make their tires last to the end. If Spectre on Dom's pitting that early to another set of softs, the strat doesn't seem to be working for these guys. The risk is hasn't gone well for them. The mediums seem to be really slow at the moment compared to the hards, and they've got a lot of laps left to do. So yeah, they could be in trouble.
Yeah, most definitely. Just look.
Sorry, Brandon just now drove straight into the back of Major Falcon and into the Vale chicane, completely missed his braking point, and he's lucky not to take the Haas driver off track with him. So yeah, he's lucky to get away with that one.
Yeah, that would have been the almost the second incident for him of the race. But look at Frosty Calvin right now. Look, he was 3rd on the safety car restart. Ended up getting into the race lead, passing Major Falcon on track just before he pit. He did get undercut by the Haas driver, but now look at where Major Falcon is compared to Calvin. But look at where Calvin is compared to the rest of the field. He's 6.5 seconds back. He's had an amazing drive just to get that close, but he has only a few laps left to, or well, not only a few, he's like 7 laps left to go towards the end of the race. But I don't know if those tires are going to be lasting, because look at the mediums right now for Storm and Brendan. They're only 2 laps older than what Calvin's will be at the end of the race, and Calvin's on a softer compounded tire. I don't know if he can take those tires to the end and still be quick enough to gain time or even places. I don't even think that's going to be possible for the AlphaTauri driver right now in P10, but the 2 Williams are going at it in the strategy battle right now. Goldie trying to save those tires going to the end, but Heated on the hard tires. He's looking to go to the end. He's most definitely going to the end, but he has to try and get past his teammate, or unless he wants Goldie to get on with it and maybe pull into the pit lane for the team game and tow Heated towards the top 2. But it looks like Brendan and Sam in a league of their own right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised Flavio's not on the phone telling Goldie to get out of the way. I'm surprised you haven't heard the message "heated is faster than you" from the Williams boys at the moment. But yeah, Goldie's really struggling at the moment, and he's got. If he lets Heated by, he could drag him along. Heated's got a 3-second pen, so he just needs to stay within 3 seconds of him. So he's sort of ruining his own race in a sense, and Heated's by them not doing the switch, as he's just letting Forza Brendan and Sam T move further and further away. And I'd have to say Brendan is playing this very smart. He's sitting behind Sam T, saving up ERS. Maybe he's just waiting for like a last couple of laps. Hurrah! He's going to go all out for them. As be interesting to see, as he seems very comfortable just sitting behind. There's Camel and Major Falcon going at it into turn 7.
Yeah,
Contact once again in Luffield.
Yeah, that's. I don't think there's another spin for Major Falcon, but he's really struggling after staying out during the safety car on those medium tires. He's not having the greatest of time with contact between him and Camel. Camel getting in another incident in this race going through that section of Brooklands and Luffield. That's not going to be great for him, but right now going on board with United Bosnia, trying to close up to the back of Ryan B. He's been trying to make this move for so many laps now, but he's not going to be close enough going into Stowe. He's not close enough to the back of the Alfa Romeo to get that move done once again. He's going to have to stay in behind. But now look at Frosty Calvin. He's caught 2 seconds in the last 2 laps. So I wonder what he can do with the amount of time that he's been gaming right now. But Spectron Don, who's pitted onto those soft tires from the mediums, the same strategy that Storm and Goldie are on, but they're staying out even longer, trying to get to the end of the race. He gets past Ramp as there's a yellow flag. Oh, that's United Bosnia, I think.
United Bosnia. Yeah, turn 1. I don't know what's happened there. But he's at that the first time. A safety car again! Oh my god, his front wing again! He's done the exact same thing he did lap 2 or 3. He's lost out of turn 1 and he's lost his wing. He's looking to be in this race still. But safety car, now this changes absolutely everything. Camel gets a strive through for spin under the safety car. Frosty Calvin is going to be absolutely flying at this safety car restart though. Be interesting to see if anyone pits. Now, I don't think I'd pit in this situation, but what do I know? So, be interested to see what everyone does, but this changes the whole complexion of the race. I'm going to have I think a 3-lap sprint to the end now.
Yeah, something close to that. It'll be interesting to see what happens. United Bosnia and Harry Noir switching places out on track with United Bosnia. No front wing. He's been in this situation before. Just a few minutes, well, not minutes ago, but less than an hour ago. Spectrum Don going very, very slow. I think he has an illegal overtake on his Red Bull teammate. So, yeah, Sam T not coming in the pit lane. Brendan faking towards the pit lane, but there's no one close enough in behind to even fake. So Goldie staying out. I'm surprised that he's staying out. I would think, yeah, Storm, that would be the decision that I took if I was on those medium tires. Go to the soft. You're not going to lose any. I'm surprised that none of the top 5 pitted because they have such a big gap in behind. I think that's, yeah, to Camel. So, yeah, Storm and Calvin are going to be the only 2 drivers as it seems. Oh, and he sped into the pit.
I'm surprised Frosty Calvin pitted, to be honest. Given that, although his tyres would have been a bit worse
Camel
for wear.
as well.
Yeah, poor Camel, he got a drive through and he sped into the pits. But yeah, I was quite surprised that Frosty Calvin pitted, because that safety car probably would have saved his race. It could have just conserved the tyres for a few laps. Goldie, I'm not sure. Goldie, I'm pretty sure, is on the verge of a puncture right now. He's the only one now still on those mediums from the first safety car. And we saw how much he was struggling. He was 2.5 seconds behind the top 2 guys before his safety car came out. So as Camel retires in the pit lane, not what you'd like to see, but yeah, Goldie, I'm not sure if he can fight with these top 2 guys. I think it's a straight fight between Forza Brendan and Sam T. I just don't think Goldie has the tyres under him to compete, as we've seen for most of the race, or the latter stages of the race. He just didn't have the tyre wear or the grip, and it cost him. So it's going to be interesting to see if he lets Heated go this time, or if he tries to maintain position once again.
Just looking towards Frosty Calvin right now. He's gone onto the medium tires, which he.
Oh no! He's gone on to 14 lap all mediums.
That's an absolute blunder from his pit crew and himself there, selecting the wrong tires. You would think he would have gone onto the soft tires, but making that split-second decision to go into the pit lane or not thinking about what tires he was actually going to be switching to. So he's P13, 1 position out of the points with a penalty. That's not going to be good for him. Yeah, even on those medium tires as well, it's going to be so difficult for him to make up positions. But right now, I think Storm is possibly in the best position possible right here. He pitted from P5. He wasn't in the DRS range of Goldie and heated in front of him. I think he was about 1.2 to 1.5 seconds back off the two Williams boys. So he decided to pull into the pit lane. He only loses 3 positions to Ryan, Jordan, and Callie. But they're on 19 lap old hard tires. They're going to be 20 laps old by the time the safety car comes in, maybe even 21 laps. So I think Storm is in an absolutely amazing position right now.
Definitely. I think he has a good chance of getting a podium here as, like you said, a lot of drivers in front of him are on 19, 20 lap old hard. And Goldie's on the worst tyre of the lot, 19 lap old mediums. They're all going to be sitting ducks compared to his brand new fresh soft. So he's going to really go through the field right now very, very quickly.
Yeah, this could be an amazing result for Storm and as well as Mercedes. Mercedes 4th in the constructors right now with 12 points. He's going to be hoping to improve on that one. He did pick up 4th place last time out. He only has to pick up 4 positions, and it should be easy pickings for the Mercedes drivers out there on track right now. Even normally you'd be hoping for DRS for him right now, but he's going to be trying to make up as many positions as possible on those soft compound tires without the DRS, because he can just literally drive around the outside of anyone that he could possibly ever want to drive around the outside of. Like, he could drive around the outside of okay, that's a little far, but he could possibly drive around the outside of Montana if someone else was or if Montana was in the position of the drivers in front of him.
Definitely, that's just how big the tyre advantage is right now compared to those old hards. It doesn't matter. You could be a D5 driver going up against Montana on those tyres. You're going to be able to make the overtake. Just how he's going to be a second and a half lap quicker than these guys right now. So he's not out contention for a win here. I'm going to go out there and say it. Like, if he gets through the field quick enough, he can do it. So it's going to be interesting. The safety car is staying out one more lap, so that's going to make things very interesting indeed. As we're only going to have 2 laps of racing, that makes his job a bit more difficult, but Goldie ain't going to complain. Goldie's loving the longer the safety car stays out, the better his tyre's going to be, and they might just be able to survive, and the less chance Storm has of coming after him, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I'm trying to figure out whose car that is still out on track. That might
Rav?
be Camel's.
Rav? Is it Rav?
No, it's
I
not.
think it's Rav. No, it's not.
I think that's Camel's car, which is
that's interesting because he's retired.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the AI is just serving his drive-through for him. I mean, I wouldn't know, but like, I don't know. That's really well. No, he just switched to mediums. So, oh no, okay, his car's pulling over and retiring now.
Okay, that's weird. That is very weird. But just like Storm in the chat said, his mediums were on 64% when he pitted, and he pitted when the safety car. So Goldie, his tires are not terrible, I guess. They're not going to get a puncture maybe, but they're going to be very slow. So,
yeah, they could make it,
yeah,
but
they'll make it, but they're going to be slow.
Yeah, unless Goldie was pushing a lot harder in the earlier phases of this stint, so he could have even more tire wear than Storm. And we wouldn't know exactly how much more tire wear, but he could end up this race in puncture range. If you can see here, he's already sliding, putting that right foot down just a little bit too hard, having a little bit of slide there on the entrance to left field. But yeah, this is going to be a crazy end to this Division 4 race. DRS isn't even going to be activated because the safety car is going to be coming in at the end of lap 24. So we're going to have laps 25 and 26 to end this one off. So Storm not going to have to contend with DRS. This could be a help or a hindrance because everyone in front of him is going to have 100% ERS as well as him. So this is going to be an uphill climb for the Mercedes driver. But let's see how this one ends off.
Yeah, like I said, TGG Storm is definitely the guy to keep an eye out on. He said it throughout the whole safety car period, but he's the one now that is going to have to get through the field so quickly. And poor Heated, with his 3-second penalty, he's going to drop like a stone. The safety car is in this lap as no one around him has a penalty. And if they can just stick in the train, he's going to lose a lot of positions. So here we go. Here comes the sprint race. It's going to be chaotic, I think. It's going to be... as Sam's really backing them up, so I expect him to go really early here, just before the Vale chicane probably, but yeah, I'm expecting chaos right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Sam trying to get as much temperature as he can in those tires as possible. We do have Spack in the chat rooting for Goldie right now. Goldie could possibly in a good position as well. He's going to be on the mediums. They're going to be absolutely dead, but he could have possibly a good opportunity. Sam going just a little bit and then stopping before the Vale chicane. He's trying to throw off Brendan in the AlphaTauri behind him, but Sam T punches it out of turn 17. He's going to be leading this one away with Brendan. Goldie trying to make the move around the outside of turn 1. That's not an overtaking spot, especially on the type of tires that he's on right now. But Storm already passed Ryan B. That's an easy move for the Mercedes driver. He's already up into P7. He's braking so much later than all the drivers around him. Oh, he picks up a penalty on the inside of turn 3. That was the worst possible thing he could have had. But he's getting all over the curves. That's not where he wants to put his car. But he's up into P6 through entry. But he's actually still side by side with the driver next to him. He should be able to make this move into Brooklands, but he has a penalty. He's gonna have to contend with that. But Storm trying to keep it cautious as Mercedes teammate retires at the loop at turn 4. That's not going to be good for him. But now Storm has 1.1 seconds to catch. It should be easy for him, but he only has 1.5 laps left to get into that first place and pull 3 seconds if he wants to win this race.
Yeah, Forza Brandon's really pushing it down as well. The boat using overtake to try and to get Goldie's. To be fair to Goldie's doing really well to stick with these guys. So fair play to him to that. But Forza Brandon, I think they're going to have DRS last lap. So he might want to wait till then, or he's going to go for it now down the hangar straight. He's using all his overtakes. So is Sam T. There's no point saving it now. The race is literally over. So use everything you have. Pointless saving it all now. So as we head on to the last lap, I'm expecting Forza Brandon maybe to go for a bit of a move into down into just before Luffield or around Luffield. And with DRS, I think DRS is going to be enabled this lap, if I'm not mistaken. If not, that makes his life a lot more difficult. And I don't think it is enabled this lap. So he's going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Just straight up slipstream, use all the overtake, and hope for the best.
Ooh, Storm and Callie. Storm tried to send the one up the inside of Abby at turn 1. He's not going to be able to get that one done. Trying to go late braking. Oh, contact with the Excel driver at turn 3. Callie's been spun round because of that incident. The driver on the soft tires tried to send one up the inside, but that's not going to be acceptable move there from the Mercedes driver. He most definitely will be getting a penalty after the race for this one, but now he has 3.3 seconds to try and gain on the drivers in front of him. That's going to be an inhuman task if he wants to pick that one up. But Brendan down in P8 picks up a time penalty. Harrington Warg and Major Falcon are going side by side through Luffield. The McLaren driver on the outside. A little bit of contact between those two. I think he's missing his end plate. But right now, Major Falcon trying to get a move done. He's not going to be able to get that done. But Storm P5 leading the train of Jordan Ryan, Brandon, Harrington Warg, Major Falcon, and Frosty Calvin around the outside. Picks up a penalty on the outside of Cops. Trying to drive around the outside of the Haas driver. Will get that move done into Mackett and Beckett. That's a great move there from the Alpha driver. Brendan's around as well as Ryan B. He's off into the wall. Not exactly sure what happened to him, but Frosty Calvin trying to put pressure on the McLaren driver in front of him. Not any moves for the race lead, so Sam T should be winning this one unless Brendan can send one. An absolutely amazing move up the inside of the Vale Chicane, which will not be doing its 4/10 back, but Sam T crossing the line right now through turn 18. He's going to be winning this race. He does 2 races in a row. Brendan and Goldie will pick up P2 and P3. Storm crosses the line P5. He's going to drop at least one position and only one position to P6, but Heated William 3-4. That's a great result for them, even on those tires as well. It's a great performance from Goldie to keep those tires in check. Jordan picking up P5. Storm, Major Falcon, and Bag of Bones are 7th and 8th, and Harry Nowark, United Bosnia P9, P10, and then Ryan B, with that incident at the end of the race, picks up P11. That's not what he would have wanted from the end of that race, but now looking just on stream for the rest of the results, I think that was Marty with the drive-through and damage on lap 1, picks up a single point, but for Excel, Callie's going to be so disappointed with that one. P13, as well as Frosty Calvin. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him, but he dropped down many positions as well. So Callie, P13, and Frosty Calvin, who had an immense task to try and get points in this race. He was in the points, but ended up making a mistake or had contact with someone. He finishes P14. That's not what he would have wanted for this one.
Wow, that was chaotic right at the end. Start to finish, a lot of incidents. I think this jersey got to be quite busy. After that last safety car restart, seemed to be quite a bit of contact throughout the field. But in the end, Sam T makes it 2 wins out of 2. Get this man a full-time seat, because we cannot have a reserve leading the championship. It just doesn't look right. Doesn't seem right. But yeah, congrats. Fair play to Goldie. He's probably, if other than the top 2, he from P10 and managed to make that strat work, pitting under very early under the safety car and going onto those mediums. And Jordan as well. We had a lot of people come from the back and get through the carnage and just keep it clean, and they're being rewarded right here, as you can see. And yeah, so Sam T, he looks like the favourite at the moment. After 2 rounds, it's quite early to say, but he's looking really strong going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think Gary, you're gonna have to get on that one. You're not the Division Four organizer, so give a lecture to Larkin and tell him to get this man in a full-time seat. Not exactly sure for who, but he definitely needs one. Leading the championship without a team, one specific team could use those points. They wouldn't get them once he gets his full-time seat, but. Yeah, he needs a full-time seat if he wants to, well, not keep competing. But yeah, all we're trying to say, he needs a seat for the next
Yeah.
for the next 14 rounds. It'll be an interesting story to see what these drivers can do in the next 14 rounds. It's gonna be Canada next week at the same exact time as always. I think it's 6:40 GMT next week for Saturday for the Canadian Grand Prix. Go check out me and Gary in just a few minutes time. I believe 15 minutes as I just got my invite for Division 2 as well as check out Division 5. They're always interesting. Let's see what Mike can do even with the Killer Instincts prediction. But yeah, that's been me and it's been Gary. That's all, folks.